Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another VOD review. Today we have a Plat Gambit. They said, I duo queued with a friend who themselves are ranked diamond, but I keep making mistakes as Gambit, who I started to play more often about 2 weeks ago. I have trouble managing my resources, keep getting caught out of position, and can't time my ults right. I can't hear or see the things my friend hears and sees, and have a hard time communicating when I'm trying to concentrate, which in turn creates another layer of problems. I don't know how to correct my play other than keep hitting my head against a competitive brick wall and hope something clicks in place before I concuss myself. Frankly, as I am now, I feel I don't have what it takes to climb through diamond, and I think I'm best plat or even gold player. Okay. So there's a lot there. Hey, what's up, Boo? How's it going? There's a lot there. This game is really complicated, so definitely don't beat yourself up. If everything's not clicking at the same time, especially if you're not used to, the hero shooter genre, if you're not used to team games, if you're not used to this game specifically, like there's a lot going on. So don't beat yourself up. These things take time, and we'll try to break these down to like simple concepts so we can work on one thing at a time. Definitely don't worry about rank. Don't worry about where you are. All you can control is like your keyboard, and a lot of other things go into your rank. So Gambit's also a very complicated character in general, and a lot of things that he does are kind of counterintuitive. I wouldn't say counterintuitive, but they're actually just kind of hidden. You kind of touched on resource management, right? Like his resource management is difficult enough already, and then they go and hide all of the cooldowns, right? So a lot of people don't know, one card is 8 seconds, so 2 cards is 16 seconds. And so one bridge boost actually has a 16-second cooldown. And also knowing the difference between bridge boost and cleanse and anti and push and when to use them is really difficult. And then add on to that, you have 2 different dashes, both of which are 12 seconds. If you use both of them, that's 24. Then you can add the dashes. Like, it gets complicated. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to take it slow, and we're going to break things down and try to focus on like one thing at a time, because we can't do everything.
You keep your eyes on the foes. I'll keep mine on the prize.
Okay, Gambit's dead. Or our Punisher's dead.
Heavy weapons. I'm in love.
It took us a long time to learn that our powers are related.
Wow, he died quick. Okay, that happens. Don't worry about it. Now we gotta play a little more conservatively. Down one. Okay, they have a Spidey. I don't mind that bridge boost. I really don't like that anti. See, this is why I don't like the anti, because now we're out of cards, right? So let me try to explain the thought process here, okay? So what I want you to focus on is understanding 2 different things, okay? This is how we're going to break it down. I'm going to go through and we're going to explain what each of the abilities are used for and what they should do. And so that'll be one thing. And then the second thing is, how do we implement that, okay? So first of all, to implement how we go about it, there's a process to learning in this game that I usually try to teach people. And it's basically, what I want you to do is I want you to solely focus on one ability at a time and play like multiple games in a row where you don't think about positioning, you don't think about healing people, you don't think about your cooldowns, anything else, your health bar. You only look at the one ability that you're trying to learn. And the rest, you just kind of like autopilot it, okay? So to start with, I would recommend, let's say, I don't know, bridge boost or anti. Pick one of those 2. And then I want you to play a couple games in a row, whether they're quick play or comp, doesn't really matter, whichever one you feel like you can learn better at. Personally, for me, I learn these things in comp, but to each their own. And I want you to play a bunch of games in a row and only look at that ability, okay? And I want you to it's important to play multiples in a row, because depending on map, on team composition, enemy composition, right? All of those can kind of change it. So you have to do a couple in a row to really get that in. And what this process is going to do is it's going to teach you to put some things on autopilot and focus on one until that one thing is good enough to where it can go on autopilot and not be awful. Hey Gia, how's it going? So that's, and then once you get really comfortable with one ability, let's say you worked really hard on Anti and now you see like, okay, I used Anti in this situation, it didn't really provide any value, and so I'm not going to do that anymore, right? Once you get really good at it, that skill will move from you having to think about it to it being in long-term memory, and you don't actually have to think about it anymore. And it will be on reaction based on things that you see in the game, okay? So you want to do that with each ability individually. I'd say pick between Anti and Bridge Boost, okay? And then once you're comfortable with those, you know, do the other one. Then I would work on your dash and your bash, right? Then I would work on your positioning. Then I would work on your ult, things like that. And you can elevate these to whichever one you feel like least comfortable with first. Do that. And then that learning process of like, I don't know, however many games you do in a row of each one, then we can bring it all together. And then we can start incorporating other things, okay? And as you're going through that, we need to talk about how to get the most value out of each ability. So now that's the general like blueprint. So now if I give you, for the rest of the game, we're going to go through and I'm going to point out situations and purposes of the cooldowns, okay? And we'll talk about if you use them wrong and why, and hopefully that'll give you a good blueprint as how you could do it. This is a pretty good bridge boost because your support is getting dove and you have 2 divers on you, right? So this is a great way to preemptively, like what the bridge boost does is obviously it heals when it hits. It auto targets. So if, you know, she's getting pulled up and out of the way and you miss some of your shots, it's okay because it's still going to hit. And you can see it changes the health bar. Now there's a little green outline. It'll probably be a little different because my colors are slightly off, but there's a little outline here that shows that any time that she does receive healing, it's going to have bonus healing applied. So it's, I think it's like 10% more or something. Don't quote me on the numbers there, but it's going to do extra. So this was a great use of bridge boost in response to you getting dove, okay? Give me a second to blow my nose. All right. So good use of bridge boost. That is a 16-second cooldown, so we can't use it too often, but it's a pretty decent use, especially since we're down 1. Now this bash, what bash is mostly used for is actually a self-heal tool, right? So it heals yourself and it heals people around you in a radius. And so this would not be a good use of bash. You're at full health. It really doesn't do too much damage, especially to like a venom. Sometimes you can use it to secure a kill if this venom's at like literally 1 health and you have to reload. Other than that, you really want to save this because this is your primary like I need healing now button. Okay. Now we keep going. Then we throw in Anti. And even though we miss, even if this did hit, hey, what's up, Lou? Even if this did hit, it wouldn't kill, right? So with Anti, there's 2 main uses of it. The first is to secure a kill, right? If somebody's low and they're about to die and you want them to not get healing so they actually do end up dying, Anti's a great tool for that. Now it is on a 16-second cooldown, so you have to be a little liberal with it and you have to be absolutely positively sure that you're going to secure a kill, or else it's just gonna put you out of 16 seconds. Okay, so there's that. Then the second option for using Anti is if we're in a neutral push, right? So we have 6 people over here and 6 people over here and we're all poking and it's kind of neutral and both teams are kind of fighting to gain the upper hand. And then you have a tank like aggressively push in. You can use it as a deterrent, as like a way to be like, no, you actually can't push here. That's less likely to happen. I would more use it as a way to secure kills. Okay, that was a much better use of bash, so that's good. We're in healing deck, so let me explain like what being in each deck does real quickly. If you're in healing deck, obviously you get access to cleanse and you get access to bridge boost, which is nice. And then you get a self heal, right? So when you're in your healing deck, you can see you're in healing deck. It gives you a self heal. Not really all that useful. I'd rather you position better and use your bash. When you're in healing, it doesn't actually output more healing. When you're in damage deck, it does output more damage for the 6 seconds that you're in it. So that's a common misunderstanding for the character. Oh, that's okay. Next thing we want to talk about, and this is another thing, like with each one of these, when we talk abilities and things like that, I want you to set it aside, like maybe get out a list and set it aside and be like, I'm going to spend a couple games and work only on this. So this is another thing that we can add to that list, which is basically healing priority. So this is something Flats has talked about. This is where I get the idea from. Basically, you should have a list in your head of who is the priority, right? Because if we don't have that list, then we're just kind of healing whatever's in front of us. So the priority should go, number one, first and foremost, our support, our other support, okay? Because if our other support dies, everybody else dies, and we have no fight. The second is actually a DPS. The reason it's a DPS is because DPS usually they don't have sustain on their own, okay? So if they don't have sustain on their own, they're more reliant on you to keep them up. And then tied with them, who actually overtakes it, is a tank who is about to die, right? So if we go back to here,
Just the boost I need.
and we see, okay, we're helping our support. They're our number one priority. Okay, the support is full. Now we see, oh, she popped critical. Our tank is now our priority, right? Because they're about to die. Then at the end, it would be a full health tank. And that's the priority. So number one, your other support. Number two, your a almost dead tank or a DPS. And then number three would be a, slightly injured tank. What's up, Chaotism? How goes the rivals break? Taking a little swap.
On the go, Eric.
This would be a great use of bridge boost. Nice.
Long's living up to her name.
Actually, not. You're playing bad. The positioning's not bad either. Oh, nice. Sorry, Jake. Just keep at it. You got it.
Do the same for me, we.
Watch him over. Oof. How's that going? Alright, so let's talk about Gambit's ult now. No, I haven't played Overwatch in a very long time. I probably should, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that today. So let's talk about Gambit's ult. First of all, I'm going to assume that you know some of this, but I'm going to over-explain it anyway. Just so you know... So Gambit's ult is field of view based, right? So anybody in this area will get it, right? Anybody outside of this area will not get it. Okay, so that's really important. Nobody behind you. It's not a circle. It's a field of view thing. Okay. So with that, we got to make sure when we ult that we back up and we try to get as many people as possible. Okay. So that's just for that. Next thing we got to talk about is like, what is Gambit's ult used for? Now you probably know we have all of the effects, right? So it has a cleanse effect. It has a damage boost. It has a health, a healing regen. It has a speed boost. It has a jump boost. It lasts 10 seconds. It has ult gain boost, right? So those are all the things that Gambit's ult can do. So what is the idea behind Gambit ult? When should we use it? It basically has two main uses. The first is a defensive ult, right? You can kind of use it like a regular support ult, like a cloak or an invis or something. You can use it in response to a high threat situation. The second and much better use of it is to actually engage aggressively with his ult. And the reason for that is hopefully you get your ult early, then you engage early, then these people who are close to their ult, by the time your ult is over, they will have their ult. You kind of steamroll, okay? Now that we've broken it down, in order to get the most value out of it, you have to find the spots that allows you to get that value. So when should we have ulted here? Now that we've explained what it does, and again, this is another one of those things that you can write down of like a couple games in a row. We're going to figure this out. So here we lose our Angela, they lose their mag. So we traded tanks. Now we're down to DPS. So here this is more of like a defensive momentum ult, because things are kind of breaking down. Honestly, this is kind of rough. I mean, I would prefer a cloak ult here, but that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, that's not a great bridge boost. That's okay. We already talked about those. Let me check up on this. I submitted one on Discord. Nice, nice.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
All right. So this just illustrates my point of like why we really want to take it down to the bare minimum and focus on one ability at a time, right? Because when you do one ability at a time, then these fights where things break down, then you can actually use your thought process on like what I need to do instead of like what abilities do I have and did I already plan correctly? Because we use so many abilities like preemptively here, and then by the time we really needed things, we didn't have anything left, right? We're down to one card. We had some bridge boosts. We already used our dash, our bash, like both of them. We're out of cooldowns essentially, and then when we need it, it's over.
Help.
Ain't nobody stealing Gambit's chance to win.
I'll get you next time.
Okay, once again, we just kind of panic, right? The second we get hit, we already use our bash like kind of preemptively. I don't think we get the healing from it, do we? We do. Okay, so not a bad bash, not a bad dash. The real problem is we over panic. We didn't take a second to actually look that this bridge boost probably isn't necessary. And then we use our anti. Again, we talked about that. And then now that people are low, and a bridge boost actually would be pretty decent because we have an ulting Punisher, we don't have it.
Now you do the same for me,
You have some good game sense, like for sure. You're doing some good things. It just feels like we're overwhelmed. This is not a bad ult, especially since the Venom ulted. So you cleansed the Venom effects, right?
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
The next thing I want to talk when we talk about ults, this goes for any support ult, is whenever you ult, you gotta have the timer in your head, especially for Gambit because it doesn't show it on the field. And when there's about 3 seconds left, you need to get back to safety. bad. There's always a question with how complex Gambit is. Does the reviewee need help playing support or playing Gambit? Yeah. Like, their positioning has been fine. They play like a support. I think they just, we use all of our cooldowns, and now we don't have them. It would be really nice to have a bridge boost here, you know? Bashes. So this is really good news, though, because we don't have to worry about positioning and, like, the general flow of the game and things like that. We just have to worry about, like, Gambit specific. How do we get the most value out of our cooldowns? I feel like we're gonna see the same things follow through the rest of this game, right? So that was a pretty bad bridge boost. This one was a good bridge boost, which I would have... Yeah, that one would have been fine. Going into damage deck here is okay. It's a bit risky because we're out of cards.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Ain't nobody stealing
Bridge boost. A little late. That's okay. Another great thing about the process is these things become automatic. You see that situation, your brain automatically reacts and sees this is a great spot to bridge boost, right? We just have to do the slow process of moving each one of our abilities into that situation. This would be a great time to ult. Not quite yet, but coming up, okay? We get a pick. We have a lot of chaos going on. So right about here. Our team is now fighting. This would be a great time to ult. And you already got it. Great. Cleanse. So that would have been a great time to cleanse. Gambit, there's a sound effect. So remember I was talking about where when there's about 3 seconds left on our support ult, we need to back up. For Gambit, you can actually hear the cards. They make like a high pitch, like whirring maybe. You can hear it here. And then they pop. I think the replay viewer was messed up because we didn't hear the second time. It's there. Did our other support ult at the same time as we did, or was there after? They did it after. Oh, and then did they get killed out of it? Yeah. That mag won their team to fight, for sure. Okay, here, die or get out. You're probably not going to get out because they have Venom and Spidey, so just die as quick as you can.
Now might be a good time to stop them.
Oh. Oh. Hey, we waste a bash there. This okay, so we haven't really talked too much about cleanse. Cleanse you want to be thinking of. Cleanse is probably the highest level thing Gambit can do. Yeah. And the way you use cleanse is you actually just look at the enemy team comp every time between fights, every time you have downtime, you just press tab, look at the enemy team comp and think, okay, is there an ability on the enemy team that I could cleanse that would really help my team? Venom ult, he puts anti on everybody. That'd be a pretty good one. Strange ult, he freezes everybody. Groot ult, he sees everybody. Bucky ult, you can just cleanse it, then his ult is over, right? So with cleanse, you want to be thinking like proactively, and that's another thing you can add to the list of like things that I won't have to think about it after I think about them the first couple of times. That become automatic, and then your value just goes up. It looks like you thought about it, but a little bit late. That's okay. So now, yeah, either die or get out. Now we're just staggering really bad.
Ooh-wee, that hit the spot.
All right, nice. Our team makes it back together. And here I'm probably thinking I'm gonna try to get my ult quickly because I'm at 90.
With the amazing Spider-Man.
Bash again, bash again! No!
Problem solved.
Okay.
Don't give them another inch.
Here's a concept we haven't really talked about yet. I want to mention it. I wouldn't worry about it too much because we're still learning the character. Just focus on, you know, learning each ability. But I want to mention it for later. And that's this concept of just letting them die, right? Even if this read also has you and you're invincible somehow. Let's say you're invincible and healing him right here. He's still going to die, okay? He's going to die. And he's going to stagger. So the longer you heal him, the longer it's going to take him to respawn and take a fight with the team. The next thing is, watch this from the Venom's perspective, okay? So he's like, oh, there's a read on cart. I'm going to go read on cart. And what does he see? We see healing shots from Gambit, right? And so he's like, okay, I know the Gambit's back out. Target acquired. Here he is, ready to go. So in this scenario, the best option you could have done is actually just sit here. Just sit here and wait. And then your Emma's going to sit here. And then you're going to be like, all right, don't go out there. And then we wait until the last possible second so we actually have a Not a bad ult. I hate that your cloak also ulted, but that happens. Oh, you guys actually hold this? Spidey, nice. Held it together at the very last second.
0, 2, 2.
I left the beaches of Tacoma for some uninvited guests.
I'll get you next time.
Just the boost I need.
There's a bad bridge boost. There's no reason. Our team's still at full health and we're not really doing too much.
Now you do the same for me, Wee.
I want you to add to that list. Another thing is actually just your primary fire. I want you to experiment with just how long you can keep people alive, and definitely do this one in quick play, but see how long you could keep people alive with just your left click, right? Because if you understand your, not only like when it's good, but also when it's bad, by letting your team die and finding that limit, then you'll know like, oh, this situation, I actually can keep my Emma up with just left clicking, right? You have to find the limits of everything else, and then you work with the abilities to maximize the positives and minimize the negatives.
Now you do the same for me, Wee. Let me draw. Glad I sharpened my sword, Namor.
We already talked about Bash.
I was fine.
Set those sweet things. Just the boost I need.
We see we use Anti. It doesn't really do anything because the Venom just pops his healing and he's fine anyway. Now that he's actually in danger, the Anti's already gone. Spidey picks us off. That happens.
Ain't nobody stealing Gambit's chance to win.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
You mess with the wrong cages.
Don't mess with the amazing
Oh.
Spider-Man.
Nice.
I'll get you next time. Ew.
Now we're just chilling, cruising along. Not a great... Good ult timing. I love this ult timing. I don't like the Anti, But this ult timing is fantastic. Your team is actually engaged, and we have good time, and we back up to try to get everybody. I think we missed the cloak, unfortunately. But I think the timing is fantastic, and I think the idea is there. Cleanse. If we don't do that bad ante, now we have cleanse for our team.
Keep your tentacle.
Ain't nobody stealing Gambit's chance to win.
I'll get you next time.
Just so you know, I don't think we mentioned it, but the bash is a 6-second cooldown, so it is much shorter. But if you use 2 of them, that is 12 seconds, and that can take a long time to get them both back. I like that bridge boost attempt. If you're doing what I think you're doing, I'm pretty sure you hear that Emma is ulting, and so you throw that in her direction to keep doing what you're doing. That's great. You definitely have some good instincts. You just gotta learn like Gambit specific things.
Ooh-wee, that hit the spot.
Still got an edge.
Lucky draw. Grabbing some of the fight. Gambit got your back.
I don't mind the spin. So there we used our dash and our spin just to get some positioning, right? We got close to our team. The second bash was definitely unnecessary, but again, we're on the right track. We have our priorities right. We help our support. Not bad. Bad bash. That's okay. We're working on it. There's no reason to be in here. Hey, I love the instincts. You go to bridge boost during that. We're just a little slow. That's a good place to be in. Because then it's just practice, right?
I was fine. Thank you.
Okay, bad bridge boost. Hey, what's up, Hollow? What's up, Caesar? Oh, okay. I was wondering. So is this the friend that plays with you? I love this ult timing. This is great. Oh, get out. Nice. Sorry, guys. I'm not feeling great today, so no webcam. It'll probably be a little shorter. I'm sorry.
Now you do the same for me, Wee.
Another not great use of bridge boost. 'Cause now we don't have it for when we need it.
Some uninvited guests.
Please, my heart. Keep up the momentum.
Nice.
These beasts of yours disgust me.
Namor's little footsteps.
Again.
Good luck, Hollow. Hope the games go well. Uh-oh. Cleanse? Ah, see, that would be a better use for cleanse, I think.
Just the boost I need.
The moon haunts you.
Here just gets a spawn. There's no reason to take this fight here. You can just walk to spawn doors. Hey, now our team's dead. I literally just stopped shooting. Because you already have your ult. Yeah, this is fine. Oh, yeah? I'm scared of your guys' idea of fun. Okay, I would ult here in 3, 2... Okay, never mind. No, 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 no! Oh! So I think the idea is there. I think we're just locked in. So this would be a good ult, right? We're about to engage our teams all together where you can play aggressive, right? The second our other support ults, now we definitely don't want to die. Well, they double ult in response, so it's fine. Played Hawkeye, Penny, Loki, Ultron, Jeff, and Adam. Wow. That's quite the roster. So here I just want to illustrate the point of like, Gambit has so many tools. I want to get you out of the mindset of like using all the tools and more into the mindset of like, I'm not going to use a tool unless I need to use it. So the pendulum's probably going to swing a bit too far of like, now I'm not using enough abilities, and that's okay. And then we bring it back and try to find the balance. Oh.
Down to 30 seconds.
The moon haunts you.
Don't walk out with 2 health, please.
I'll get you next. Final 10 seconds.
All right.
We'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Actually, here's a question. Does Gambit cleanse? Does that cleanse the Earthbound effect from like Namor's ult and things shift?
Your way.
I have no idea.
What have we here? Enemies on approach.
I was fine.
Instantly get you upright from Namor ult? Wow. Oh. No, 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 no. I mean before the Namor ult hits. As in like if you... Because you can't use movement abilities in Namor ult when it's going off before the whale lands. So if you cleanse that... Grounded effect, I don't believe so. Okay, interesting. Alright. So... Yeah, there's a lot here to work on. I think, again, you have good instincts. We just have to learn Gambit specifically. So, if you have a list, like, write down each one of Gambit's abilities and focus on them one at a time. And I think you'll start feeling a lot more comfortable. Start with either anti or bridge boost. Throw in... So, if we write them all down, focus on anti, focus on bridge boost, focus on just your primary fire, just your ult, just your dash without the spin, then dash with the spin, just the bash, and like work on each one of those individually. Also throw in there, because Gambit's a really complex character, throw in there when you want to be in just in damage deck, right? Because there's a lot of value that can be gained. And when you're going through this process, again, the thing that you want to be thinking of is, how do I get the most value out of this specific ability? And what goes into that is like, if I use it now, could I have gotten more value if I held it and saved it for later? Or is this a situation that I have to use it now, and then whatever comes later, we can get to that? Yeah. So anyway, that's it for this VOD review. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. God bless. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.